Well, good evening, everyone. This is Tom here, and this is Cab Crew Wednesday, July 26, 2023, at 8 p.m. I'd like to say hello to everybody in the chat so far. Hello, Tammy and Ray. You get the cookie tonight. You were the first ones in. Hello, Artie. How you doing? Hope you're feeling better. And Schuylkill Valley. Hi, John. How you doing? Glad to see you in here. Train Man, thanks for stopping in. And Boxcar Jerry. Hi, Jerry. How you doing? Glad to see you all in here tonight. And we'll see how things go. So how's everybody doing? Give me a thumbs up in the chat. And let me know how you're all doing tonight. In this hot weather we've been having here. And everything's going good. I see someone else has popped in. Hey, Plumber, how you doing? Rayon VR's here. How you doing? Plumber, did you get the email? I sent you a link if you wanted to come up. Same thing with you, Artie. I sent you a link. Okay, glad everybody's doing good. So, what was going on in the last couple of weeks? I've been working on the layout, trying to get things to work. And I added, hey, John Benicki, how you doing? I added two. This is going to be preluded by this statement. When it rains, it pours. So I'll give you a little bit what happened here. So I ordered two NCE AIU 01s for a project that I was working on for my yard. And I needed them to add sensors on so that my push buttons would send a signal back to JMRI to let me know the status of the turnout. So I added them onto my NCE cab bus, and then everything went bonkers on the cab bus. And after a couple of days of troubleshooting, I was working with my JMRI friend and developer and then NCE, and we couldn't figure out anything. And then we came up with the plan that my bus line, which is the NCE cab bus, was too long because I have 13 NCE AIU 01s, 3 mini panels, 2 power cabs, and the length of the cables between all these devices are 7 foot. And you add that all up, and what happens is the voltage on the bus line drops as further out you go. So the NCE guy told me they have the new UDP panels that have a power, and I bought them. I had to wait a couple of days to get them. Hey, James, how you doing? I see you in here. Curly, how you doing? Dwight, good to see you in here. So we ordered those. They came in, and I have 3 UDPs on my layout already. And I took the first one out and replaced it with one with the power. And I still wasn't getting all the AIUs to come up. So played around with that, tried this, put a second one in at the other end, wasn't getting any power. So today, finally figured it out. You can't put a powered UDP as the first one in the bus line after your command station. and they weren't sure if that was a problem, but he thought it was a good idea, so I removed that. And then all my AIUs came up. But in all this process of doing this, I was unplugging cables and plugging it back in. And this is an NCE flat cable 6-pin RJ12 connector. Well, see that little clip there? That was breaking off. They get brittle after so many ins and outs, but I never take these things out, but they just get brittle and they break off. So this end here, I broke off and I cut it off. So what I did with this cable was made this a test cable. And inside here, you have 6 wires, and the black and the yellow wires is your 12-volt power. So then I put my meter on these 2 wires, plug this in to an AIU 01, a UDP, mini panel, and then I found what was the voltage coming out. And I was getting anywhere from 3 volts to 8 volts. And that's not enough power to run the devices. You need 12 volts. Minimum is 10 volts, he said. You can get away with 8 or 9, but then you can't go to the next one with an 8 on there. So best to have 12 volts everywhere. So what I did today, after I did all this testing, I took the powered UDP off of the first one and put the original UDP back in place. Everything came up. Then I put a powered one between the last one and the prior one on the bus line, the last one that had 8 volts on it. I ran it, I put it the UDP panel with power in between those 2, and then connected another line for the rest of my AIU 01s, and then they all came up. And since I broke a couple of these cables, I'm lacking some cables, and I have one AIU 01 that I don't have a cable to connect to. So I was talking to my friend Art Houston. I think you all know him, and he lives in Louisiana, and he did a video on how to make these. And so I contacted him. We've been talking on the phone, and I ordered some parts today, and hopefully they'll come. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make up all the proper lengths between the devices, because this cable is 7 feet long. It's wrapped around, but it's 7 feet long, and I have devices that are only 6 inches apart, 18 inches apart, but I have 7-footers all over the place. So I'm going to shorten those wires, make my own, and then connect them up, and that'll help on the bus line. So that was that project. Now that's working. Here's the new UDPs. I don't know if you're going to see that. See, they have 6 connectors on there. Okay. The front 2, like you always have. And then these 2 side ones are the ones that were in the rear before. I'll show you the old one in a minute. This is a toggle switch for one way it's internal power, the other way it's external power. Here's the connector for the power. You put the 12-volt DC power in there. And then these 2 are Ethernet connections. So you can daisy chain the UDPs by Ethernet. But since mine are already connected with the cab bus, I wasn't going to convert over to Ethernet for that. And then this is the original UDP. I don't know if you can see it. And it has 2 in the front, 2 in the back. They did have a barrel connector on there, but yeah, there's no toggle switch on here, and you have to cut something on the board. And I said, I'm not going to mess around, because if I have to go back to these, or I want to add another one in the line somewhere for another place to plug in a power cab, they're still good. So that's what those two things are. And so that was holding me up on a lot of different things getting going. So with that, my Viper printer stopped working, and it was a hot end error on there, and there's a lot of links to all that. I see a couple people popped in here. Let me just say a quick hello. HPT Hobby, how you doing? Nice, thanks for stopping in. I did say hello to John Benicki. And so the hot end error, I contacted Anycubic. They sent me 2 parts. This part, which has 5 connectors on it. This connector on the top is for the hot end, one's for the LEDs, and the other 2, I don't know what they're for, but they ought to be connected. Well, when I swapped this out with the new one, I only had 3 cables. And I'm looking at that, and that says hot end. And I was getting a hot end error, but I didn't have nothing to plug in to the hot end connector. So I'm scratching my head. What, I put it back together, and it didn't work. So I then looked closer, and here's the 2 cables that go into those other 2 pins. One's the hot end pin, and the other one. Well, as you can see, they're all broken off. And these were wrapped around here like this. So it was wrapped around like that. So I didn't even take notice of that. So Jim Tedesco helped me find one on Amazon, a replacement part. Meanwhile, Anycubic is sending me another one. I'm going to have a spare one in case this happens again. So I got the one from Amazon. It came on Sunday. I put it in. Everything was working. I had to put a new tube in there and everything. And I scratched it, and I printed a couple of things. I printed this signal mask. It came out perfect. I wasn't able to print that before. The ladder for the signal, that came out. Look how thin that is. That printed fine. This here little piece, it's going to be hard to see, but that goes over the mask, and then the ladder goes through there. That keeps the ladder in place. The signal lenses and the housing for the signal lenses. So they all came out. Then I printed a pickup truck. I got wheels in there. Let me take the wheels out. The pickup truck. The mirrors came out on the sides, and that printed fine. I printed 4 tires. I don't want to tilt. Well, one fell off anyway. But there's the 4 tires for the truck. I got to paint them now. And then I got done printing another pickup truck. And then I printed another set of wheels for the truck. And it wouldn't print no more. And I'm going, okay, what's going on? I checked. The filament wasn't coming out. And I took it apart, and there was a little piece of filament that broke off. And it was stuck at the very end of the tube. So I had to clean it out and get it all. And then I put another piece in there, and then it printed the other set of wheels. So I said, okay, now I'm going to print a building, because I was working on these flat buildings that John Tanans, I can't remember, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but John, he's a YouTube friend of ours. He sent me some STL files and I printed them, and I'm going to put them up on my yard, and because I have a spot there for them. And it wouldn't print. It was falling off the plate and this and that. We didn't know what was going on. So I said, there's a lot of the chat going on here. So I go, what's going on? So then I did some more research, and the other one didn't come in yet. It's coming on the 30th, and I'm not going to wait for that. I want to get it fixed. So I did some research. I found an article, and this guy said, oh, make sure the hose is not, around the corner or, whatever. I looked at it and I said, my hose is pretty long and it has almost like a little loop in it. And I said, so what I did was I took the hose out and I cut it off and made it shorter, put that in there. And the thing that I tried to print last night, which failed when I woke up this morning, it didn't print. It only printed a real thin piece. And it's a holder for the spool of filament for the Viper. Excuse me. And now it's printing now, and it's, did the full thing, and it's doing the last section. It's got about another hour or two to go, the 4-hour or 5-hour print total. So that was going on with my Viper. And I 3D printed on my rosin printer some hydrants. Jim Tedesco sent me an email if I could print them out for him, because Tammy and Ray needed them for their layout. So I printed 24 of those, and I mailed them off to Tammy and Ray the other day. They should be there later or early next week, probably. I don't know how long it takes to get mail around anymore. And then Jim Tedesco wanted some, so I just finished his, and I put his in the mail now. So that's my 3D printing project. And this is another cable that came out of the Viper. That's a long cable. And this here end goes into this. And this is the hot end. If you pull this out, you'll get a hot end error. Okay, so it has to make that connection. And the other end goes to this here end goes inside the printer. So you have to turn the printer upside down, take the bottom covers off, and then I found them. But see this red? See how it's red there? They put that stuff on there to keep the connectors from coming out. And see how I can pull that? It's real hard to get off. So, and this, I got that one off, no little bit of problem. This one here, it was so coated with that stuff, I had to take an X-Acto knife and start chipping away at it until I got it so I could pull it out. I finally got it out. So, I mean, you never know what you're going to run into. So, like I said, when it rains, it pours. So, I put out a video the other day of my new sticker. I don't know how well you're going to see it on a camera, but that's my new sticker. So if anybody wants one, I got a few people sending in requests for them, and I mailed them out already. And everybody's got one coming to them if they didn't get it already. And all you got to do is go on my channel, and my email address is there. And you can just send me an email with your address, and I'll be glad to send you out one. Hey, Daryl, how you doing? So I have somebody in the basement here. I'm going to bring him up. Let's see. Add to stream. And there's Mr. Artie.
G'day, guys. How are we all?
How's it going, Artie?
Yeah.
How you
Living
feel?
the dream.
Yeah. So how you
Got
feeling?
I've got the top section all running and operating now, and just giving it a bit of a run while I'm doing a clean up in here.
Yeah,
Sounds like I wasn't the only one having wiring fun.
yeah,
I
yeah.
got the lights on the roundhouse working yesterday, eventually,
Yeah.
and
Hey,
because
Wig Wag, how you doing, Stephen?
I got everything hooked up underneath here. Made sure all my polarities were right and everything else, and hooked up the wiring, and the lights on the roundhouse didn't want to work. So here I am, like, what on earth is going on here?
Yeah. So, do you have a polarity problem?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, normally all it means is you got let's say you have a red and black wire on the track,
Yeah.
right? They could be flipped and then you'll fix the polarity.
I don't know how on earth I did it, but somehow I mixed up the polarity on it, and the worst thing is, like, under the bottom layer here, where all the wires are all fed through, it's it hasn't got much room in there. So, crawling on my side and on my back and turning around, of course, it's not helping my bad shoulder. But I eventually got it going, and I tidied up all the wiring that's underneath the main section,
Mm-hmm.
bringing most of the wires up behind the computer screen here, because I'm going to have one of those switch panels there.
Yeah. Hey,
Uh,
Darren Alexander, how you doing?
to switch the tracks manually, and which will be done at a later stage. But I brought all the wires where I want it for a change, except for 2 bundles. But the wires are long enough to go up there. I'll do that at a later date. Otherwise, I'm just going to be clustered with wiring. I am going to do a video tonight running into the old section up in the background there.
Mm-hmm.
G'day, Derek. How are you, buddy? And during the day, I've got to clean up this room because I want to start expanding Friday, Saturday this weekend. I want to start working on the main section.
Right.
So what you see right down the back where my finger is pointing now, that's coming out.
Yeah.
Well, a portion of it's coming out. Just got on the UPS. I'm very disappointed with them. I'm waiting for a package that's got a tracks and the switch it for my tortoise motor.
Oh, your tortoise
Or
machine?
the single one of all the pairs. So I can finish all the turnouts on here. I've got one turnout where this carriage is here that needs to be. Let me get this thing out of the way. I've got a turnout here that needs the decoder in it. My bloke here hasn't had them for God knows how long. But once I do that, I mean, it's done. I haven't got nothing for here. These are going to be manual, these ones here. But once I get this top section, all the turnouts are done. All the main track, like here where my hands are, all the main ones there, they've got the BD 20 track detectors.
Right.
I've had an AIUO 1 that's failed, kind of. I was hearing you were talking about it before. It's picking it.
What do you mean it failed, Artie? You know how to
Okay, the
you know
way
how
it's failed, it's failed within itself. How you have it will talk between the detector and the AIUR1, but in the two ports, it won't talk to the computer,
oh,
right? So, lucky I had two spare slots. I put it in a spare slot, and it worked. Um, so I'm going to later on. I'm going to switch it out, take it out, and lucky I've got a spare one here. Um, I'm going to swap it out for the spare one, and then take this one up and get it done for swap it over under warranty.
yeah, because you can test it by you put the cable into that and have power to it, and then you put a wire on the ground and then a wire on one of the pins, and you should get a red light on the on the
Oh,
on
the red lights come on.
okay.
That's not the problem. It's the IC is not communicating with the computer,
Okay. Yeah, that's
right?
another piece of equipment then. Yeah, okay, I understand. I see what
Yeah,
you
it's another part of the chip itself where it's not functioning. So I'm going to what do you call it? I'm just going to send it in and get it swapped over for another one.
right.
Because with my train automation program, um,
Hey Russ, how you doing?
it wasn't going to pick it up. I went into JMRI as well because I got the JMRI program as well, and even then, it didn't want to pick up on those two portals. So that means it's not communicating with the computer. There's a little glitch in there somewhere.
Well, on JMRI, you know how to find out if the AIU is working. What you do is you go into the console on JMRI and you go over to NCE, and then there's a menu there, and then one of the items in that menu is show cabs, and that'll show all the cab devices on your cab network.
Well, it's working. It's all working because, as you see now, the trains are running,
Right.
right? And that's using that AIUR1. It's working. It's recognised. It's been picked up. It's just the two ports
Mm-hmm.
where it's like I think it was uh, 6 or 7.
Right.
It's like saying no. I'm working, but yeah, I'm not going to talk to the computer. You can get stuffed,
Right.
basically. Um, I hooked up the other blocks that I've got running into those two ports, and still the same. It will not talk to the computer.
Hmm. Hey, Grandpa Rails, how you doing?
G'day, Papa John. How are you? G'day, Russ. Derek, how are you, buddy? Um,
Papa John,
so,
too. How you doing?
so as you see now, this is all running nicely. Later stage, I will put block detectors for the um, turnouts as well.
Right.
So because I'm sitting low, basically the layout's eye level. So
Right.
to see what position the turnouts are at the back, even in the bottom, it's going to be very hard to see. So if I've got to set up that I can put the indicator or the BD20s on it, and I can see when the train is cleared, the turnout.
Then you'll know it's not there, right?
What's that?
You'll know it's not there once it
Yeah.
clears. Yeah.
Let's see how much weight she will pull. Hang on. What are we talking about? I don't know. Not yet. Let's how much weight she will. Give it about a week and a bit. We'll see how good the trains are, right? And how good my track work is. It'll take me roughly about a week to do the new section behind me. Working off the plan off the top of my head, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, well, it takes time sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, Randall, how you doing?
I've got a rough idea what I'm going to do. I prepared all the bus wires. I've got all the bus wires going to be running through the top section here to the back.
Right.
I loaded hoppers. Give it time, Dave. Give it time. I'll have it going. Good things come to those who wait. I've basically got roughly about 8 days to get the main run going. Well, I'm waiting for you to send me some UP engines, Daryl. That's why I got the UP cars out. I do have a couple of UP engines here, and I've got the big boy. I mean, I did buy those UP cars thinking I didn't have them,
right,
to get a set for the big boy. And when I found those on eBay, I bought them. And then once after I bought them, I went into my cupboard, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, hang on, I already got these. Oh, well, I'm just going to have a longer special, aren't I? But what I will do is with them, I'm going to upset a few people, is I'm going to get some blue decal strips and cover up where the UP is and put a blue stripe there like what they had with what's his name, Chizzy System. Yeah, but a couple of E8s will be very nice to go with those UP cars, Daryl. Just which big boy do I have, Derek? I have the Broadway Limited one. I think it is number 17, I think. And it's a coal burner. It's not an oil burner. It's a coal burner because I don't have a coaling facility. I mean, the oil facility. I just got the coal facility. But it's packed away until, excuse me. It's packed away at the moment until I basically finish the scenery on it, the real dirty work on it, so it doesn't get messed up. Some of the engines that I already got up here, I'm using them as test runs and whatnot, so
right.
They're not so delicate. G'day, Joe.
Hey, Joe Raider, how you doing?
The bits and pieces on them are not so delicate, so they can be handled a lot easier. I did notice I will have to down the far end there, which I'm going to do today, either today or tomorrow. The inner curve on the main's got to be changed. I've got to put a broader curve on it. Change the curves on them too. Because if I'm going to have a push-pull, it's going to... I noticed that I thought it was a 24-inch radius there, but it's not.
Okay.
So I've got to make a bigger one, bigger radius, because when a passenger train pushes up into here, it's going to push it off the track.
Yeah.
Lucky I pulled these UP cars out because they were in the box down here, an unopened box. I just gave it a bit of a quick run to see how it all works, and that's when I picked up that the radius is going to be just a little bit tight.
Right.
Particularly when I'm doing switching.
Yeah, when I built my yard, I have an L-shaped yard, and the corners, I made them all 24-inch radius so that the bigger cars could fit on there nice. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did try to keep the curves and that, the starting points and that square, because I was going to do catenary, but because I can't get enough catenary in a short catenary post in a short period of time, I'm just going to give up with it and just go without it. I mean, hey, they don't have catenary in Chicago's main system where Metro runs, except for a couple of spots. I know there's going to be some saying they do have them, but at the Union Station where I went to, he didn't have it. So yeah, it'll make operational fun up the top here.
Yeah.
There's going to be plenty to do. There's going to be plenty of switching going on at the top and the bottom layer. So it's not going to be boring.
No, that's what mine isn't either, because I'm going to have a lot of switching to do on mine too, because that's what I wanted.
Yeah. Well, I can do two things on mine. I can do rail fanning on my layout as well.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, I can have trains running automatically by itself, or hang on, trap's getting dirty. I'm gonna have trains running by themselves, and in the meantime, I can still be switches. So, what's a question for the panel? Being new to my, should I color code my wiring? Definitely.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And not just color code it. Label your wires for what's what. Only if you're colorblind.
Yeah.
Derek, there's no excuse if you're colorblind. Because what I've been doing lately, I don't have them here, but what I have done with my wiring is I've been using the label maker.
Yep, that's what I use, a label maker.
Yeah.
And I label every device underneath the layout too.
Yeah.
And its address, so I know.
And the other thing that I do is, some of you guys might laugh at this, but I document everything.
Well, yeah, mine's all in JMRI, so I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, I don't trust computers.
Yeah, well, I do, because I have everything's on a central storage device, and I have 3 computers that access the same JMRI. So if one goes down, all I got to do is plug the USB cable into the other computer, and I'm up and running. So
but see, if you get the situation like what I am with the desktop, where everything was basically inputted and it fails, you don't have that information.
Yeah. No, my data is all backed up, so I don't have to worry.
So is mine. But I still, you can call me old school, but I believe in having a hard black and white pen and paper backup. And I was glad I did, because I had it where my laptop had failed and the desktop had failed, and I still want to run my trains, but I also want to construct it, but I put everything down on pen and paper.
Yeah. See, if my JMRI fails, I still can run my trains.
So can I.
The only thing is, it won't work is the signaling won't work. JMRI, I rely on JMRI for the signaling. So
I haven't hooked into the signaling up yet. But the system that I'm going to be using, I think I've already showed it to the viewers before.
Yeah, I saw it. I know what you're talking about.
I'm going to be using the Atlas signal system.
Yeah.
I've got to do a little bit of experimenting with it, with the junctions, because I got the basic system. but I will end up using that because then it will basically I don't have to rely on the computer for the signals to work. Okay, here he is. He's asking a question again. If I'm going to put a
Hey, Mike,
backdrop
how
up,
you doing?
what kind of material should I use? Paint. Get one of the artists to come out and paint you a backdrop. Yeah, actually, I wished I did have an artist nearby, or get them to paint up the backdrop.
Yeah.
I find the vinyl that's in the back scene, I find that pretty good. You can wipe it over with a cloth, and it's not going to deteriorate. And it's not a gloss finish; it's like a matte.
Right.
I have found a nice city scene pretty close to what I want, which I can put up. Oh, what's going on here? Put up in the main top section here to give the city scene. I found a nice backdrop for that, so I'm going to order that on next Monday. Hopefully, it will get here before I have my surgery, and I can have it up.
Right.
Where you see the window, here, I've got to still make a panel which can slide in and out.
Do you ever open that window?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll have to. During the summertime, I will have to let some air circulate in here.
Yeah.
But I do have another window to my right. We're going to put in portable air conditioning in here after I've set the room up, because I'm going to need something in here.
Yeah.
But I have noticed since I put this top layer up here, the room is a lot darker.
Right.
The room light I'm going to be changing. I've got these LEDs,
Right.
light bulbs. It's going to make it a lot brighter. I've heard some of the guys in Cali get their trains to running. Very nice of you to call butts.
Hey, Ray, how you doing?
Yeah. It's not a rumor, right? It's truthful. That's what they run on. You see the fairy dust coming out of the exhaust as they power up.
Yeah.
um,
Still sounds like you're not 100% there, Artie.
I'm getting there.
Yeah.
I was at the doctor's yesterday, and it's a slow process.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not as bad as some of them. Some of the patients got hit with a really
there's
bad.
always somebody worse off than you. That's all you got to think.
Yeah, they end up in hospital. So,
yeah.
Touch wood, I never ended up in hospital as such.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't wait to start this next section up. I've had to change the plan on how I'm going to do it. I was going to have a little bit of a hidden staging return loop, but after working in this section here and seeing how restricted the room is going to be, I'm thinking, no, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
So I just carved something. Built. Oh, cool.
Hey, that is that engine going over that turnout that you were saying you had a problem with?
No, there's a separate turnout there.
Okay.
Okay, so basically, I've got a turnout here that takes you out to the main.
Right.
And then I've got a turnout here that's going to have for the trains for the passenger storage facility. But where you see that one they just went through, that takes you out to the main line.
Okay.
The other tracks up in from here. Basically, I'm going to have, I can basically have two trains passing one another at the far end. Yeah, it's going to take some time for that before my cough to clear, Mike. Um, it's just the joys of
Getting old.
getting old and combination of uh, yeah,
Got to stop
the
kissing everybody you see, Artie. Then you won't get a cough.
yeah, I wished I was kissing some people, but I wasn't. But I tell you what, yeah, once you work in the steelworks like what I have, I mean that knocks your lungs about
Oh
as well
yeah.
as smoking. But when you start working in the steelworks and you transport coal and all the stuff that we basically use for the garden, I tell you what, and even wheat, it really messes up with your lungs. Um, what's it? Truly, I would prefer TNT. Well, yeah, yeah, you can make your own TNT there, Daryl. You want the recipe? You'll have to come over and I'll give it to you. Yeah, so it's slowly making progress. So you've got to do the track cleaning on the bottom track because no trains have run on that for nearly, 3 months.
Long time.
Yeah. I went underneath the layout yesterday. When I went under the layout yesterday, I'm like, oh, there's a spider in here. Oh, no, it's all right. It's dead. It was only a deadly long leg. So, it didn't survive. It didn't follow the rules, did it?
No. Well, I've been working on the upper levels, and then I look at the first level and I see all the debris from the top levels on the lower level. So I have to clean the lower level out pretty good.
Oh, interesting. Uh, so I do a few little adjustments at the turnouts.
Yeah, turnouts are always fun.
Yeah. Think of this one here. That might sort it. Might have to adjust the blades on it. So it's good. Like at the moment, I'm having a kissing party. If I was having a kissing party, Trey, man, I would not be on this stream right now. I can guarantee you that. Thomas will have to do it all by himself.
Let's see what are you working on? Huh. Well, Derek, I was talking about that in the beginning of the show. So, but this is a quick one. I'm working on getting my Viper working, and it's printing now. So I finally think I got that working, and also um, my NCE cab bus problem I had 3 weeks of trying to get that to work, and I finally figured it out today. So that's what I've been working on, and
You know where your problem is, don't you, Tom?
yeah.
The layouts have becoming too big.
Well, you know what? When I was talking to NCE support today, he says I'm the only one that has that many devices that he's ever talked to.
Really?
Yeah, I was surprised. I said I can't be the only person having this problem. He says, no, you're the only one that has this many devices. I said, oh, really? I said, okay.
Well, it's creating them a challenge, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, what happened was the voltage was just dropping and dropping
Yeah.
and dropping. The further out I went, it dropped. And that's why when I added those other two, that was at the other end of the bus line, and they
Yeah.
didn't have enough power. And then, so once I figured out how to take care of that, now it's working out. I just have to make new cables, and
Yeah.
I ordered that stuff. And once I get the proper lengths, my entire bus line won't be as long as what it is now, and that'll make a big difference.
I just wished NCE will make shorter cables.
Yeah,
You know, that black cable that you were showing before.
yeah, the flat
I wish
cable.
they would, I wish they would do this as a shorter one so you can actually daisy chain like what I'm doing, and you're probably doing too.
Right,
Where you put, say, two AIUO1s or a mini panel and whatnot close to one another,
right,
where you don't use a 7-foot cable to join them up.
right.
I
Yeah,
did try to make my own cable, but what ended up happening with me was with one of the AIUO1s that I've got for the bottom section, what had happened was it bent the pins in the socket, so I had to change it, and that cost me I think about $40-50 to get them done. But that
well,
was on the actual panel itself.
yeah, but they're 6-pin. They're not 8-pin.
Yeah, that's what I used.
Right,
That's what I used, but it messed them up because all you got to have them is be just slightly oversized to put in a hole, and you can damage it.
right.
You
Yeah. Well,
see, with
what I'm going to do is once I get the ones that I ordered, I ordered them from Show Me Cables, and they had RJ12s, and I said, okay, when I get one, I'll try to put it inside the, where it goes and see if it fits in there. If it doesn't, then I'm going to send them back. And because I'm not going to make a cable until I test to make sure that the connector fits in to the device. So
because as you have the long cable, of course, even though it's bunched up, 7 feet, the power still got to go through 7 feet of wire.
right, doesn't matter if it's at 7 feet, it's 7 feet. If it's coiled up or rolled up or
It's still
folded,
7 feet. It's got to travel through.
right, it has to travel 7 feet. So I have 16 devices, and that's 16 7-footers. I'm well over 100 and some feet,
Yeah.
right?
So what
And
have I got? I've got
this one
one, two
guy
in
said
here.
that he did his layout, and he had 90 feet between him and the other end, and he had to put a power device in between to get it to work. And so there's a limit to how long the cable can be.
Yeah. See, I've got at the moment I've got 6 devices. Yeah, I've got 6 devices at the moment. By the time I'm finished, there'll be at least 12 to 14 devices hooked up.
Right.
And having 7-foot cables is not going to work out.
No, you need to get shorter ones, because you have 14 devices. You're going to need a some kind of external power in a UDP panel somewhere
Yeah.
to plug it in, because you can make those UDP panels as what was the word? I can't think of the word right now.
Vista.
Splitters. They can make
Yeah.
them as splitters. So you want to make a powered splitter, then you'll have your 12 volts there to drive those devices.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, these are all the things you learn when you're doing these things.
Oh yeah, Derek. I don't have any funnel web spiders here, thank God.
Yeah.
But they are in the area, and I tell you what, they're more than just a little poisonous. They've killed people as big as me. But no, well, I don't have any here. I'll keep the yard clean. I've got to clean out the back work area after I finish doing my next lot of timber work, because I don't give them chance to what's the word? I don't give them anywhere attractive to sit and hide in, basically.
Right.
But mind you, even though they can't give you enough venom, the daddy longlegs, which is common right around the world, they're more dangerous. They're the most poisonous spiders in the world, but they just cannot give out enough venom to actually
Do anything.
do anything.
Right. Okay, Derek. Here, let me answer Derek's question here. He says, Thomas, was that the one that wasn't working with JMRI? Yeah, on my JMRI panels, all my tracks were coming up as being in use, so they all turned red. So if anybody knows what JMRI and the sensors on there, when a train goes over that block and you have a block detection working, the track changes from whatever color you have to red, meaning there's a train in there. So all my tracks were active, and I don't have that many trains. So that was the problem. And JMRI has a command on there for NCE stuff in its console, where you can click on the NCE button, and then it drops down a menu, and there's certain things you can do with NCE, and one of them is to show cabs, and it shows you all the cab addresses that you have on your cab bus line. So that's what that was. And then your other question was, let me see, what was the other question here? Let me see, I had it there for a second. Let's see, there. The fix. Okay, so what fixed it was I had a powered UDP at the beginning of my bus line. It came right off of my command station. That was causing a problem. So I removed that, put the original UDP panel back in. It's non-powered, and then 90% of my AIU01s came up. And the last one in the chain was a mini panel that was getting 12 volts. The next AIU01 was getting only 8 volts. So this was degrading enough over that cable length. So what I did was, between that mini panel and that AIU, I added a powered UDP. And that gave me 12 volts. And now all my AIU01s are up except for one, because that isn't plugged in. I don't have a cable for it, because I broke about 3 or 4 of the cable the clips on the cables. So I'm waiting for my cabling to come in and my connectors to make my own cables, and then I'll have the better lengths, instead of, like Artie was saying, you have 2 devices that are 6 inches apart and you have 7 feet of cable between them. So all that cable you have to add up, and I had over 150 feet of cable. So when I took all the measurements at a rough guess,
Good night, Tammy.
Yeah, good night, Tammy and Ray. I'm under 75 feet now, so I'm well under the max. But I got to make the cables all the same size, the sizes that I want them to be, and that's a whole nother project. But
I'll get most of my cables sorted out after I've done the next section. Because the guys where I go up to get my NCE products up here in Sydney, they do one who repairs there for NCE products instead of sending them out to the US, because they do have a guy that's very good with that sort of stuff. So when I'm ready, I know where everything is. I'm going to get him to make me up some little cables,
right,
shorter cables. I'm going to have plenty of a long cable then.
Yeah, well, when I was talking to Art Houston, he was telling me that it's hard to get that flat cable anymore. And so I said, well, I can take the 4 that I broke and cut off the ends and then make them short pieces out of that 7 foot. But
yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. And but I found flat cable. And so I'll use that. I talked to NCE and I asked them, can I use my Ethernet Cat 6 cable? And he said, yeah. I said, because I could just not use 2 of the 8, just use 6 of the 8 wires. And
we can use that, can we? But don't the wires have to be in a certain direction though at either end?
Well, here's what you do. On the one end, you put the connector in, and the clip is up. Okay.
Yeah.
The other end, the clip is down. Right.
Yeah.
Now it's straight through.
Yeah.
That's straight through. There's no. See, you can't use crossover in this situation, or you'll have reverse polarity and things will short out and stuff. So you have to. It has to be straight through.
So when you say using a Cat 6 cable, we can do that?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you can use Cat 6 cabling. Yep.
Well, I've got plenty of that here.
Yeah, I got a whole box of it. I got like a 250-foot box of Cat 6 cable in my closet. So
see, I've got a Cat 6 cable, and it was donated to me from the landlord. Because he deals with a lot of that. And he goes, I got all these short pieces. Yeah, I'll have them, thank you. Because we were talking about it, and he's got all this stuff, and a lot of times it gets left over scrap wire, and it's like, well, just throw it over here, I'll use it.
Right.
He's been really good, really, really good.
Yeah. I mean, well, I bought mine. I needed it for when I was doing my computer systems here in the house. So I had a lot of leftover, and I used it for certain things on my layout already. So it works fine. It's just this twisted cabling. That's all. So you just have to put the right colors on the right side, and that's all you have to do.
Yeah.
And just leave one pair as a spare, because if something happens and it breaks, you can use the other pair and replace the pair that isn't working, so but,
that all he's got to do is open up his garage door and he'll be right, Derek. I mean, 100 degrees. That's spring weather over here. I'll tell you what, it's been smoky around here the last few days. Our volunteer bushfire fighters, they've been scrambling around up here on the escarpment. G'day, Mystic.
Hey, Mystic, how you doing?
They're burning all the undergrowth underneath on the forest floor and that, just getting ready for the summer. Because they are predicting we are going to have a very hot summer. And they are saying the areas that didn't burn in 2019 are in a high danger zone. So we didn't burn that last bushfire, and we're due for a big one up here. So they're doing all the preparation early.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. I mean, we live with it all the time. I mean, they learned a lesson last time, because they didn't do all the back burning because of the environmentalists and that,
Right.
But since the big catastrophe that we had, they basically ignoring going back to the old ways now, where they're doing what we call burn-offs.
Yeah, burn-offs. Yeah, these environmentalists, they don't know anything. And they just keep on saying, "Oh, we're destroying all the trees." No, we're cleaning.
You're not.
No, we're cleaning the brush and all the debris on the ground, and that burns down a few trees. So what? They come back in a flurry. That charcoal and stuff is fertilization and makes it work. Makes the trees grow better.
Well, the thing is with our forests here. Not so much over there with the pine, but see, our forest here, with our big gum trees, they will not germinate unless you have a fire.
Right.
And there's that waratah flower as well.
Right.
Actually, that reminds me, I've got to go and take some photos of it. Photos of them. They need fire as well for the seed pods to germinate. The Waratah flower is only found within our area here, and
Right.
since we had that fire and we had all that rain, we got Waratah flowers popping up everywhere.
Right.
Now these Waratah flowers can be 10 to 15 foot tall. The
Yep.
stems.
Yep. Hey, container man, how you doing?
Um, okay, it's bad because of the fire's close to the population area. But we have fires burning all the time out in the outback that people
Right.
don't know about. And it's part of nature. It's been happening for
Forever.
forever. Even the Aboriginals, they turn around and said even they used to backburn and protect their food source, basically. Yeah, container man, I'm not drunk yet, and I'm still not stoned. Um, and I don't own a donkey, so yeah, I'm buggered.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what are you gonna do? These.
It
But
is what it is. I mean,
yeah, nature. You can't mess around with Mother Nature. That's
no.
all.
Like the fires that we did have nearby here last time, when they start off in November, when that Hercules crashed south of here, I wasn't working too far from it. I was only probably about an hour away from where the bushfire was, and an hour away from it, we had snow.
Yeah.
We were snowing, we were freezing. So go figure. I mean, and up here it was all up here they were having heat waves.
Yeah, the contrast of the weather is amazing sometimes.
And it's only a 3-4 hour drive.
Yep.
You can't.
Well,
Nature would do what nature will do.
right, like when I lived in Key West, Florida, you'd be driving on one side of the highway, it's sunny as can be, and the other side it's raining. So, you know.
Get up, DB Tech. But we have a spot here. It happens here quite often.
Hey, Dave, how you doing?
We've got a rail line just up from me here. If you're on the south side, it's dry as a bone. You go underneath the railway bridge on the other side, and it's bucketing down rain.
Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. The last fires that we did have, only 3 were naturally started by natural causes by lightning. The rest of them, I think they say about 2 of them was lit by discarded cigarettes. When people throw cigarette butts out the car and they're still lit.
You're going to have that,
Yeah. And then you
or
had some
or a
little
campfire,
firebugs.
Yeah.
We had some firebugs. The big one that was really close to my place here. That was the scary part is that was actually started by a volunteer firefighter.
Yeah.
Bush firefighter. And want to get his 5 minutes of fame.
Yep. They have whatever they call that, but you can't. It's hard to say. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's just it's just the way things happen. You can have a campfire that gets out of hand. You can have somebody set it on purpose. There's so many reasons for things happening.
Oh yeah.
Somebody's USB disconnected.
No, that's mine.
Yeah, I heard it.
I think. Yeah, that's my computer. I can't play around the wiring on the left hand side. I think what it is, because I kept putting the plug out of the USB on the computer. I think she's worn out a little bit.
Yeah.
And you just touch it slightly and it loses contact, and Well, it is what it is.
Well,
Don't
it's
have
funny.
to, right?
My Viper printer has a USB connection to my computer, and then I can print directly from my computer to the Viper.
Yeah.
And then when I have it not printing, and I move the build plate manually to clean it off, sometimes I hear the USB going, doo doo doo, like
Yeah.
it's, and it's just, moving around, moving it ever so slightly to make it do that. So,
Yeah. I did make a desk to replace the one that I got here now. Funny thing is, I put the varnish, everything else looked good, but with the way the weather's been, excuse me, it's turned out looking like a banana.
yeah,
It's actually bent. And it's going to be good because the way it is, it's if I put something on, it's not going to fall off the table. It's going to roll in the middle. We had a teenager a few years ago almost burned down Colorado River.
yeah.
Gorgeous.
Oh, I see somebody
Yeah.
new here. New,
New Haven Roads, g'day. Welcome.
New Haven Rails. Welcome. Thank you for coming, stopping in. So,
But I remember the big one that we had, the last big one we had here was that I was involved in was in 96, 97, which burnt where we had the national park catch on fire, which is between here and Sydney, the Royal National Park.
mhm.
Apparently, that was lit up by a volunteer bushfire fighter, and
Yeah,
they caught him. Um, they caught him. They caught it. They worked it out it was him. The fire started at one spot 2 times, but one of the fires started way away from where it originally started from. Then he was about to do the fourth one. Yeah, he was just lighting up fires just to stretch the resources, but geez, did he do some damage?
yeah,
Um, yeah, he ended up spending a lot of time in her Royal Majesty's what's it called it resort in Sydney.
yeah. You mean the prison?
Yeah, Long Bay Jail. Yeah,
Yeah.
Her Majesty's resort. We call it.
Well, I think they're all country clubs now.
Man, they got it made.
Yeah.
Most of them.
Yeah, they got a roof over their head. They got 3 meals a day. They got exercise. They can go to library, read books, and get smarter, and all kinds of things they have. Some of
Oh,
them,
they got. Oh,
yes,
not here.
some of them get
They
out.
actually.
They just commit a crime just so they can go back in.
Well, they've actually made it over here where they got to work.
Yeah. Well, that's how it used to be in the past. A long time ago, you got bread and water, and you had no privileges whatsoever. So, but nowadays it's a country club.
Yes, Darryl, the trains are running by themselves. I've got 3 running separately. But over here, you got to the way they've done it here now. You have to work now, and whatever work you do, it gets credited to you.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get released, they work out. It's like a restitution. They work out the time served to the time that you worked at the prison. If you got any outstanding hours that you still need to owe for your stay at the jail, you got to pay for it.
Yeah.
No, they don't have to. But over here, actually, they don't do license plates over here anymore. Depending on the seriousness of your crime, some of them over here they actually got gardens, and then they do actually help out with the community as well.
Right.
Um, it all depends on what was the crime that they committed.
Right.
You know, well they all do something, and a lot of it actually brings advantage to the community. I think one of them also does food for like the nursing homes and that. Yeah, well, Russ, that's basically. I suppose you can't even say blue or red state. It all depends on who your governor is. I mean, you have a look at a northern state. It's where Robin, a friend of mine, is, and Marty. I mean, the youth, particularly youth, it's out of control up north.
It's out of control everywhere. As a matter of
Up there,
fact,
it's bad because it's
in New Jersey, I just heard that the people in the stores, if they see somebody shoplifting, they can't even approach them. You know, like
that's
I'm a
wrong.
clerk. Yeah, I'm a clerk, right? And I'm walking around in the shoe department, and I see somebody putting shoes in their purse or in their bag or something. I can't walk up to them and say, "Hey, put that back," or anything like that. I can't have no confrontation with them, and that is wrong because this old lady, she was 65 years old and she worked at Lowe's, and she saw people filling up a shopping basket full of stuff and they weren't going to pay for it, and she grabbed the basket. That's all she did was grab the basket. The two people that were stealing the stuff punched her in the face, knocked her down, and the poor old lady got fired from Lowe's.
That's wrong.
Totally wrong. And I couldn't believe that happened, you know. And I says, this is what's wrong, you know. They're allowing these people to steal everything. Look what's going on in California. You can steal up to almost $1,000 worth of stuff. They won't even blink an eye at you.
Well,
So
we see my community here. I mean, we're not too bad here. I mean, yeah, it is a rough community. It's known as a rough community, but we've had one incident I remember at the Coles local supermarket. It's like your Bilo over in the US. Um, this woman had a shopping trolley full of groceries. I swear it would have been about $400 worth of groceries, and she came in there at peak time. And she was waiting till all the checkouts and automated checkouts, everything was busy. And this one's very limited staffed. And she came up when there's no security guard. So what she done is she decided she's going to walk out the front door. We all looked at each other. The next minute, his group of locals marching her back in again. And they just held her there until the police turn up. It's like, look, if you need a helping hand, the way we work here, if you need help, particularly food and whatnot, reach out. Someone's going to help you. We'll get together and we'll help you out. Don't
right,
go stealing.
right,
Now, you probably heard me talking about the young guy, the young dude that got beaten up and dumped at the lake. I found out yesterday what happened why they beat the living crap out of him. He's the one that's been running over 4-year-old kids on the road, and he's been running over people's pets.
yeah,
Like running over dogs of mine. A mate of mine or neighbour that had to put his dog down the other week because he ran him over with a motorbike,
yeah.
with a trail bike.
Yeah, some people are just, I don't know what's wrong with them. I really don't.
No.
Something not right upstairs to do
No.
something like that. Yeah.
But I just kept to myself. I play with my little electric bikes here, and
See, if I was a store owner and my employee tried to stop somebody from stealing something from me, I would have gave that person a medal and a raise and stuff like that. I wouldn't fire the person.
No, well, see, the whole thing is every time, and this is what they were saying to this lady. Every time you steal, it takes the prices up.
Yeah.
And look what's happening in Chicago and many parts of the United States. You keep stealing, they'll end up saying, "No, that's enough. We're going to close the shop."
Right.
Because we can't afford to give away free food.
Right. And they'll just pass it on to the consumer. So we're funding the criminals.
Yeah.
That's all we're doing is funding the criminals.
Those that commit murder are on death row.
And they don't steal the junk; they steal the good stuff.
Container man. Yeah. Look, if the people that are on death row, the way I look at that is, if they 110% guilty, yeah, do it. But when there's still that little bit of doubt, no. Because there's been cases in the United States, and particularly in Australia, the last person that was executed here, they ended up finding out he was innocent all along.
Well, somebody didn't do their job right. That's all.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I believe if they 110%, like we had that that guy that done the Port Arthur massacre and a few others.
Hey, Dave BNSF, how you doing?
If it's 110% proven that they're guilty, yeah, give them the death sentence.
Right.
Watch them all be paying for their accommodation
right
for the rest of their lives. We have some here that will never get released.
Right. Yeah, there's some here that won't ever get released either, but still, that we're still paying for it.
Yeah.
Who pays for the salary of the people that have to watch them so they don't get out? We do.
Taxpayers do.
Right.
You know, they still got to get. They still get free medical. They still get their.
Right. Who pays for that? We do.
Exactly.
Right. Nobody else does. We do. Commit the crime, you do the time.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree with that, Container Man. But I know there's been at least 3-4 cases in Florida, in particular, where there's been people that were accused of a crime that they didn't do. I remember there was one young black fella that was accused of, I think it was killing a police officer, and he didn't do it. He was nowhere near it, but they needed to get a conviction.
Right.
And it was a converting one, so they actually framed him. We've had a couple of cases here where they try to frame the guy too. But he wasn't a person.
But that doesn't happen that often.
No.
Most of the time, they find out who did it, and you're guilty. As simple as that. But there's a rare case where somebody got railroaded, but that doesn't happen anymore because there's too many damn good lawyers out there that know how to get around things and get them in, get a lower sentence to them and all kinds of stuff. So it's, like I say, all it is a country club anymore. They don't have to pay for anything and they get everything for free. So,
yeah.
You know, and
they we have a problem at the moment in Sydney. We don't have it here. I mean, they clean up a lot of the troublemakers here up, but we have got a bit of a problem going on with shooting going on up in Sydney, but we don't have the mass shootings like up in like over in the United States. These are isolated between the gangs themselves. Luckily, no one with the recent ones that's been going on. There's no innocent bystanders been hurt. There has been once before, but yeah, I just don't go to those areas. I just stay away from them.
That's
Down
exactly
there we're pretty good. I mean,
that's
there were
exactly
a few.
exactly right.
We do have a few. We had a few troublemakers here, but the police have been busy at the moment. They've been just taking them out, and basically taking them out of the area, and it's been very, very quiet.
Yep.
We can leave the doors unlocked again.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
mean, I won't leave it unlocked if I go away for the full day, but I can leave my door unlocked and run down to the store and come back again.
Right.
But then again, I've got a rabbit here that'll attack you anyway. I mean, she's more vicious than a dog because she'll just sneak up on a person and bite them.
Yeah, but the dogs, the people are afraid of dogs. They don't know what the dog's going to do, So,
Yeah.
Right. So that's a deterrent. But if they really want to get in, they'll get in, whether the door's open or not. Well, okay, I'm done with the political stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. So
I agree with you, Container Man, with that. I agree with you with that one.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So, yeah. The second worst part about this hobby is cleaning up the room when you want to expand.
Right.
When you restrict the space. I'm just looking around. Just I've got accumulated a lot of junk.
Well, I try to clean up as I go, but sometimes it gets a little out of hand, and then I just have to stop, and then I clean it up. I can't work in a messy place. Like I'll have, like I have dog hair on the floor from the dog. I sweep the floor before I go crawling around on the floor because then I'll have dog hair all over my clothes. So I gotta keep my area clean. That way, when I work, it just feels better when it's cleaned.
Well, I tell you, you know what's worse than dog hair or rabbit fur or animal fur? When you're cutting multi-strand wire.
Yeah.
And look, I got carpet in here. I had to put carpet down on the floor.
Oh.
But with multi-strand wire, when it gets on the carpet, then you get to sit down on the carpet, move around. It gets caught in your track pants.
It gets caught in the fiber.
Then you get to sit down on it. I tell you what, it's like sitting on a cactus.
Right.
Oh, man, that's uncomfortable.
Yeah, like when I trim wire, I do it on my workbench at my in my train room. I have a workbench at one end of the room, and I'll trim them all, and I just let the stuff fall on the floor, and then I sweep it up all at once instead of putting each piece in the garbage at a time. I just cut them, and then sweep the floor, and then then they're in the garbage. So it's but I don't have carpet in my train room. I have some kind of, I think it's probably linoleum or something, some kind of material, and I can hear things when it hits, but they bounce a mile, So I drop a screw and then I have to go looking all over the place for the damn screw. So
the only thing I haven't found and I'm still looking for is the pulley wheel for the crane. It's somewhere. It's somewhere within my area here. I've got this little vacuum cleaner that it's got like a canister in it, and every time I vacuum it up, before I throw it in the trash, I'll just empty it out on the table and just go picking through it because I'm wanting to find those bits and pieces I've been looking for.
Right. Well, here's what I have, Artie. Let me get it. I'll show you.
Oh.
This is a little vacuum cleaner.
Right.
And this comes off. So I can see what's inside there. I use this on top of the layout. I clean up stuff that, like when I drill a hole from one level to the other, I usually put paper in between so I catch most of it, but some of it falls, and then I just
This
go.
is the one that I use.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, that's just like what his name was when the guy brought out his knife, and he had a little knife, and then he brings out, this is a knife. Well, that's what
yeah. Well, of course, us Aussies do things. Of course, us Aussies do things differently.
yeah,
Hey, but that one was free. I didn't have to pay for that one.
yeah,
Yeah, Dave, it could be. It is worse on the carpet, depending on the type of carpet you got.
right,
Because I got that. I haven't got plush carpet here. I've got that tight woven carpet down in here.
yeah,
And the biggest reason I put the carpet down here is because we've got nice polished floors. And if I scratch the floor, I'll lose my bond.
yeah,
So to protect it, and particularly we know what it's like when we're doing modeling work, when we deal with glues and whatnot, it will fall on the ground, and you can it looks like a coffee baker or a veggie slicer. No, that's the other machine. Yeah, it'll stay on the floor, and it's like you get paint on it. It's like when you're a rental property, you got to clean it up. At least this way, the floors are protected. And I'm not allowed to move out of here until after the big excavation has been done in the backyard. The landlord wants me to stay here until till it's time for him to do the driveway and the dig out the retention pits and whatnot around the place. So he wants me to stay here for a bit longer.
yeah, Dave, that's right. The N scale is even smaller. I have HO scale, and I think that's small enough.
Oh,
Yeah, can't
I
imagine.
almost contemplating going in Scar, but I thought, no, I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah, I can't imagine working with N scale. That's so small. It's nice looking, but it's just too small for what I want.
But I know one thing for certain: I'm never going to go multi-level again.
Yeah.
I'm never going to go. I'm never going to go multi-level again. It's too much. It's too much hard work.
Oh, you're never going to go multi-level again?
No,
No.
no.
It is a lot of work, but it's rewarding once it's done.
Yeah, this is not too bad. Everything is within eye. Everything's going to be at eye level here. The back section will be just a little bit down about shoulder height. But apart from that, no, I wouldn't go up any higher than this.
Yeah.
Not as high as what you got anyway.
Right. I have the cameras to see that. I don't need to see it. I have the cameras. I can look at it. If I wanted to, I could look at it. Well, they should run without you looking at it, right? And because
the ones up here are at the moment, but there's always that one opportunity when they decide they're going to do things when you're not looking.
Right, but they should go without you looking.
Yeah,
and that's what I'm trying to get to with my layout. Eventually, they will. Because I have it set up now that I can see my JMRI from anywhere in the world. And
right.
So I can do, like at work, I can go on my phone, turn on the trains, and then I could run them, and I could see the JMRI panels and stuff right from work. So
yeah,
so that's pretty cool. I had that set up about a month ago, and I tested it at work. And fortunately, the guys at work are into trains, so it's not like I'm not doing my work. They come over and they look and say, "Oh, that's pretty neat," and stuff like that. So,
yeah. I mean, eventually I'll get something like that done here too. But at the moment, all I want to do is, because I got the surgery on the 17th.
Right.
I want to get this done and so I can actually run some trains instead of what they're doing here, going backwards and forwards like this, I want give them a bit of a better run.
Right.
So yeah, I've got to really get cracking with that this weekend. I just wish those guys would turn up with the I'm wanting the track that's in the parcel that's coming, because it's coming from Train World. And I use UPS. UPS is usually pretty quick, but
Right. Yeah. Good night, Daryl. Have a good night.
good night, Daryl.
Yeah. And yeah, so yeah, well, sometimes the shipper holds things, and it's really not the delivery people that's giving me the problem. It's sometimes the shipper doesn't give it to the delivery people.
It's only an hour up the road.
Yeah.
It's only an hour up the road.
Yeah. So.
Or
they're waiting. Maybe they're waiting for other packages to go to your area. Who knows?
Oh, that's a load of crap. That is. They got packages coming down here every day, but when we got, I should have got to pay the extra $20 and got it brought over by FedEx. Yep. Would have been quicker.
Yep.
But I use UPS all the time. I even got an account with UPS, and I go, I'll just use that. And I rang them up and told them, this is, you guys are going backwards. FedEx is actually quicker than what you are. It used to be the other way around.
Yeah. All three of the carriers, well, actually 4 carriers I use. I use DHL, I use FedEx, I use UPS, and the post office, and they're all timely. That once in a great while something doesn't come on the day it's supposed to, but things happen, so can't complain.
Yeah.
Like the one part I got from China that took 60 days to get here. All right. But that's none of the carriers that I use, whatever carrier they used. But once it got into the United States and it was handed over to the post office, it was here in 2 days. So, but to get it here.
The only thing that will hold things up with customs.
Right. Yeah. Customs.
Yeah. The only thing that will hold up things with customs here, if someone tries to smuggle some of that funny powdered stuff,
right,
in the shipment that comes from that or from that particular flight or whatnot, then they scrutinize every single package that goes through.
Right, they have to check everything.
Yeah,
they don't know what what they might have put it in.
Yeah, and I tell you what, they've been doing some sneaky deals lately. I mean, what was it yesterday? I ended up catching a group of guys that had a 40-foot container full of batteries.
Yep.
And yeah, they got the containers, and the boys in blue came around and collected them as well.
Yep. Yeah, that's the problem. There's always somebody trying to get away with something.
G'day, Mike. That's really hard.
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Morning.
It's evening here.
Morning or
morning. So
yeah, well, it is still morning here.
Yeah, well, you're on the other side too, so
yeah. Well, it's only a morning for another 20 minutes, and it's going to go in the afternoon.
Yep. So
so now I'm going to have the dreaded job of cleaning everything up in here, and as I said, I do want to get a video of that's what it is in the UK. So it is early morning.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's 6 hours ahead of us. So yeah, it's already morning there. It's 3:00 in the morning. He's up late or early.
Hang on, I'll be right back. I can hear a van. Hang on, I'll back in a minute.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty. You're either up late, Mike, or up early. Oh, Daryl, you're still in here. I thought you were going. Daryl, did you get my email? $90 million. Is that enough, Container Man? $90 million? What do you get out of 90 million? Maybe 40 million? And with taxes and everything? All that money they take from us. Yeah, you should be able to buy a lottery ticket on your phone. They have them that capability now. Don't even have to wait in line to buy one anymore. Yeah, 1 billion. Yeah, that's right. Because probably nobody will win. Too hot, huh? What's the temperature in your garage there, Daryl? 110? My train room, it's at 72 degrees in here right now.
That's about the same as mine. I'm back.
Yeah, comfortable.
Yeah, wrong parcel.
Yeah.
Parcel for the landlord.
Yeah. All right, people. Well, I think I'm going to call it quits for tonight.
All right, buddy. Thanks for having me up.
Yep, no problem, Marty. Thanks.
Hopefully everybody else had fun.
Yeah, everybody in the chat.
And
I want to say thanks for stopping in. I appreciate everybody's comments in the comment section here. And I like to thank everybody for stopping in. And I hope everybody has a good day, what's left of it, for wherever you are. And for those waking up, have a good morning and enjoy the rest of your day. And
Daryl, go and collect your $1 billion lottery check too, will you?
Yeah.
We all want a share of that.
Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. So I'm not sure who has next week.
I believe it's Plumber next week.
Plumber.
Is this the first of the month?
Yeah, it might be Plumber.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So everybody stand in and watch Plumber's channel next Wednesday night, and we'll see you all then.
Okay.
So this is Tom and Artie, and everybody take care.
See you later.